Morning everyone, and welcome back to the Runpreneur vlog, where we discuss all things entrepreneurship and running. It is a slightly warmer, feels like 2 to 3 degrees today, but it's very wet. It's kind of got that misty rain which just drenches you without actually feeling like it's rain. So but you know what, better running conditions than the freezing cold that we've experienced over the past few days. And it's a Monday motivation today, where we discuss all things productivity, motivation, stuff that you can kind of implement into your lives to kind of get that little bit of a productivity boost. And today's topic is the 5-25 productivity rule. So as always, if you like this episode, please give it a like and a subscribe, and let's get started. So the 5-25 productivity rule. This rule was created by the great Warren Buffett. So any of us to disagree with one of the richest people in the world and the huge success he's had in his investments and business activities. And he says it's a lot down to his implementation of this rule. So what is it? Well, first and foremost, it's a productivity hack, okay? And it's primarily focused on how you can focus better and how you can not spread yourself too thinly to obviously make a significant difference to the future. And the process is simple. It's a 3-step rule, and I have a slightly different interpretation on it as well, which I'll go into towards the end. But ultimately, you write the 25 most important career, business, personal goals down on a piece of paper. 25. You then get a pen and you circle the top 5. Now, however you organise that and however you work that out is something that's very personal to you, but it's going to be something that you have your own mechanism for prioritisation. So what are the 5 most important things you circle, okay? And step 3 is you eliminate the other 20. And this is reinforced by, there's a lot of kind of productivity books and stuff out there which all seem to lean towards that you should never take on more than 3 to 7 projects at any given point in time. So you might have 3 to 7 project or goals for the year, and then broken down you might have 3 to 7 kind of monthly or quarterly goals that you'll be working on independently as well. So the 3 to 7 kind of number of projects is pretty well known, and there's a lot of evidence to kind of suggest that's how much we can focus on without getting overwhelmed. And so number 5 being flat bang in the middle, so it all kind of fits with what the scientific evidence suggests as a sensible number. And the reason for that is that you've got to look at your kind of capacity as a manufacturing conveyor belt, okay? You can have as little as 3 to make the plant work, or you can have as little as 7 projects or goals on that conveyor belt for it to move and for it to operate. As soon as you put an 8th on there, it's too heavy. The conveyor belt stops moving. Okay, so and the less you have on there, the quicker it moves. And the analogy I'm giving you here is the faster the conveyor belt moves is the speed of your progress on those projects. So it's quite a good analogy. 3 is whirring around you, you're powering through it. 5 is kind of perfect. You're getting good progress on a good number of projects and goals. 7, slightly slower progress, but you know what? You're still in control and you're still progressing 7 kind of projects or goals quite effectively. 8, just too much. Overwhelm happens and the conveyor belt stops. Okay, so that's hopefully a good analogy of workload capacity and what you can kind of take on at any given point in time. And I think the key thing to understand is there's a lot of people talk about rules like the power of no and turning things down, and I've become better at that over the years. I was always very, very bad at it due to the fear of missing out and wanting to kind of take on everything that the world presented itself to me. And but what you don't often realise is that not only if you take on something new and you don't have the capacity to do so, it'll be a strong likelihood that you'll fail at that new opportunity because you just don't have the time and the capacity to kind of deal with it. But also consider the compounding effect of that overwhelm on your existing projects that you're working on or goals. And if you take one too many, that will take your focus off the ones you're currently working on, and they'll suffer as a result as well. So, you know, you just making that one wrong decision can have such a detrimental effect on so many different projects and goals. So it's really important to understand that it's not just that one goal or one project that you're looking at here. It ultimately has an effect on everything else you're doing as well. So really key to understand that. Now, my adaptation to this project, to this productivity rule, is that Warren Buffett says, just delete the other 20. They're not important and they need to go. Just delete them, okay? You should never even think about them. Now, I kind of disagree a little bit there. You know, who are you going to listen to, me or Warren Buffett? Obviously, Warren Buffett. But let's hear me out on this and I'll explain my thought process. There's a massive, great big tractor coming past me. I'm just going to let pass. Well, I'll eliminate the 20. The 20 projects or goals that are not the top priority. But what I'll do with them is I'll put them in a holding place in my kind of Asana project management software. So it'll be like a someday section where all of the rest of the stuff will go in. And the reason I do that is that I think for optimization, you know, I will generally work on 7 projects and goals because that's just the kind of volume that I kind of work out. It fits within the evidence that suggests 3 to 7 is the max. If I get to 8, I'd only ever take 8 on if one of the previous projects or goals was coming to pretty close to conclusion. But I like having the kind of someday section where I store all these ideas, all these opportunities, so that when each project drops off the conveyor belt, meaning that it's complete or that goal's finished, I add a new one to the conveyor belt to keep the capacity at the same level. Okay, and that's just how I work to kind of drive myself forwards. And you don't have to do that, because technically, if I don't add anything to it, the other kind of 6 projects or goals on that conveyor belt will speed up the level of progress because there's less work on the conveyor belt. But I've got so many things going on in my life. I like to have my full quota of 7 at any given point in time, and accept that the progress is slightly slower than those who are focusing on just 3. But because I'm working on 7 things, as opposed to, you know, I'm progressing all 7 as opposed to somebody progressing just 3. So you've got the kind of compounding impact of the leverage of working on, you know, having businesses set up and multiple businesses working for me rather than just, you know, 2 or 3, which is absolutely fine, by the way. I'm just giving you my kind of take on it. So I hope that's useful, and you kind of understand how this can work. But the main summary to this productivity rule is all about focus. And ultimately, if your focus is spread too thinly, you won't deliver. And we're in a world where we have to deliver. Okay, so what are the 5 most important goals and projects to you? Focus, you know, intently on achieving those, on driving them forwards, and nothing else should kind of distract you. Now, okay, you're going to get the day-to-day distractions, okay, so it's not saying that you just focus on these 5 things, but from a mindset perspective, it's just 5 things you're working on. Okay, you're going to get the regular distractions and stuff in your day-to-day life that kind of comes aside that, but you're going to get them whether you've got 5, 10, 20 different projects on the go. If you've got 5 and you're still getting those distractions, you're still going to make enough progress on those projects to drive yourself and your businesses forward. So just to summarise again, the rules are very simple. The 3-step rule. Number 1, identify the 25 most important goals or projects in your life. So that's business, personal, financial, whatever the topics are. List them down on a piece of paper or some electronic platform. Then the next stage is circle the top 5. They're the ones that are the most important. So whatever your prioritization mechanism is, you're identifying the top 5 that are the most important ones to you. Step 3, delete the other 20. Okay, they're not important enough. Just delete them. Okay, and then watch your progress grow when you're so laser-like focused on a small number of projects and goals. So hope that's useful. That's it for me today. As always, if you've got any questions and stuff, drop me a comment. I'll respond to everyone. If it's a bigger topic, I'll do a separate blog episode and tag you in. If this isn't relevant to you, no problem at all. Just unfollow me on your social platforms and it will stop cluttering up your feeds. You don't have to unfriend, just unfollowing will stop the notifications hitting your news feed. But before you do that, please do check out the Runpreneur YouTube channel as I cover a different topic on every day of the week. So just because today's topic may not be relevant, then maybe tomorrow's or the day after's may be very relevant to you. So do check out the YouTube channel, and all the content is catalogued nice and neatly by topic, so it should be very easy to find relevant information for you, completely free of charge. And also check out the links in my bios on my social platforms, as that's where I'm starting to store all my free resources that accompany the vlog. The first one being my 70-step process for repurposing, reformatting and optimising your content across all social platforms. So if you want to put more content out there more efficiently and you don't want it to take over your life, check out that checklist. So all that's left to say is that the Runpreneur vlog was set up to help entrepreneurs and business owners overcome the emotions of stress, overwhelm and anxiety by using exercise, or in my case running, as a release valve or release mechanism. And I think it's so important that we all experience these emotions, and you've got to have a way of controlling them. The people that do it well have this release valve, just relieves the pressure which is in the form of stress on a daily or weekly basis, whether it's exercise, whether it's counselling, whether it's whatever, talking to others, networking. Everybody has a different way of managing this and gaining clarity on what they're doing. But it's really important to have that release mechanism, because it clears your mind, it has you, understanding and focusing on things far better, which allows you to remain focused and drive things forwards. If you don't have this release mechanism, what happens is that the stress has nowhere to go. It builds and builds and builds and builds. It evolves to overwhelm, which is then you start freezing, making no progress, which then turns into panicking and anxiety. So it's like pressure building up in a pipe. If you don't release the pressure, the pipe will burst. And unfortunately, if you don't release the pressure, one of two things will happen, in that either yourself as an entrepreneur will have a breakdown, or your business will break down. And either or can often be terminal to the likelihood of it lasting the test of time. And so I've been there, and I've lost multiple businesses because of these emotions. I've lost multiple business partners, and I've also almost been bankrupt because of them. So I've been there, and there's no coincidence that since I've got this release mechanism in my life, which is through this running vlog, that I've made more progress in the last 8 months than I have in the previous 4 years. So that's fairly conclusive evidence of how this actually works, and how it really can really help you. So my pledge to you is that I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. So if you are someone who's struggling with this, drop me a message, we'll jump on a call. I'll give you a few hints and tips and a bit of advice on stuff you can implement into your lives, similar to as I've done to myself, but it'll be bespoke to you, and we just want to get you back on the right path. No catch here, I'm not selling you anything, it's just trying to help you, because I've always said that if this vlog helps just one entrepreneur or saves one business, it's been 1,000,000% worthwhile. And several of you have reached out already, and I know we've made a really positive difference to so many entrepreneurs' lives by talking this stuff through. And I think people struggle with entrepreneurial pride, where they feel that the world's on their shoulder, they need to solve it. And yeah, sometimes you are a problem solver as an entrepreneur without a shadow of a doubt, but sometimes you need to be able to ask for help, and there's more help available than you can perhaps realise, but you have to take that plunge and actually ask for it in the first instance. So that's it for me anyway. So reach out if you are one of those people. So all that's left to say is that if you do like this episode, please give it a like, a comment and a subscribe. If you want to see more similar content, please do check out the playlist link on the YouTube channel. And all that's left to say is stay positive, stay happy. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.